as you well know, Will, you know what it's like working for the NHS. We need some downtime, and my downtime tends to be exercise. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, as a purely personal thing, it's probably the most important thing for my mental health. If I can't do it after 3 or 4 days, I start to feel it. And it's been something that's been instrumental from like childhood. And I think I'm probably quite lucky with that actually, because I'm someone who has enjoyed exercise and enjoyed sports. And I think it makes it a whole lot easier. Because if you're coming into this sort of in your 20s, 30s, 40s, trying to better yourself, but you've never done it and you don't like it, then I think it's another barrier. So I've always been so lucky. But yeah, in the short term, it just you just feel the stress coming off you whilst you're doing it, but then afterwards, and I think it sets you up for the next day, next 2 days as well. So yeah,
Oh,
massively important.
I completely agree. As you well know, I've been in Canada for a couple of weeks, and
Hmm.
the day we got back, we both slept for about 14 hours, and then the jet lag kicked in the day after and last night. So sleeping's been a bit tricky, but we know what the reason is for that. And I suppose we have exercise. We've got our 10,000 steps in the last couple of days. But I haven't been to the gym, and I will be resuming normal duties tonight. I'll be attending my Krav Maga class, and I finished my day job before, and I was like, I don't want to go tonight. I'm too tired. I'm at that lethargic stage, but I know I've been down this road before. I know afterwards I'm going to feel really good, and I'll get a good night's sleep tonight. And it does it. I'm kind of similar to you. I've done sports since childhood, various sports. So it's been quite an easy transition into trying new things. But as you said before, it's if you've not done any type of sports activities before, it's going to be harder to sort of participate in that. And especially probably from my angle as well, coming at it from an anxiety point of view, because as we all know, anxiety can present with physical sensations, can't it? But if you're somebody that's trained in the past and you've experienced anxiety, you can put it down to, oh, I've got some delayed onset muscle soreness because I've just done a 5K, or I've been in the gym and I've squatted, I've done deadlifts. I'm going to be sore for a few days. Whereas somebody new coming into that, they might be a bit fearful of that. So
Yeah, but I also think it's a great tool for acceptance of
absolutely, yeah,
symptoms of health anxiety,
yeah,
um, because
yeah,
exercising can mimic, even just while you're doing it, can mimic quite a lot of the symptoms of anxiety of a panic attack. And if you're able to
like that.
get into your head that, you know, this is what my body feels like when my nervous system, when my hormones are ramping it up for a reason,
Yeah,
then sometimes it can be a reassuring thing. I can feel my heart pumping in my chest. I feel a bit short of breath, but that's because my brain is producing these things that exercise will do as well, and it's this natural effect of something that is happening in your brain because of your anxieties. And so I think it can also be a good acceptance model as well.
yeah, that's great. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like for example, if you get a bit of back tightness when you are squatting, it doesn't necessarily mean that's an injury. It might be your hips are a bit tight, and if you've been experiencing tight hips, it could mimic some lower back tension, couldn't it? Before you've trained, that can help making that link as well. When you're training, and they say when your nervous system's quite dysregulated, you can get these symptoms, lower back tension, can't you? And tension wherever, and all sorts of symptoms and sensations. And the gym kind of helps, doesn't it? Like you said, with acceptance, and it lowers the volume, doesn't it, of these, let's call it a tension threshold. It can lower that volume. You start to
Mhm.
get used to these sensations, and you get bored of them eventually, don't you? I certainly have in the past.
Yeah, yeah. I think it makes it more normal, and as I say, I think it allows you to think past them and to
Yeah,
sort of change your way of what these experiences mean to you.
Yeah.
And I mean, purely on an anxiety, on the anxiety aspect of things, we know from studies that exercise reduces anxiety by 20 to 30%. It's as, if not more effective than antidepressants with mild to moderate depression.
Yeah.
It's in all the guidelines that GPs and doctors in the UK are supposed to follow. And so it is a well-known treatment of mental health that has been well studied on hundreds of thousands of people. So the research is there, the numbers are there as well.
I think it's great as well. I think, like, I don't know, I like going for a run in the morning quite early sometimes. And I think if you wake up, you naturally can be a bit lethargic, you know, a bit tired, can't you? A bit fatigued, especially if you've not had a good night's sleep. But if you can think to the day before, say that morning, you didn't have a great morning, you know, your head was a bit muddled. If you can think that and then think to the next day, so you've just gone and done, I'm not going to say a 5K, for example, and then afterwards you feel really good, you know, inside. Even if you've had a really bad day at work or it's been stressful and you've let some steam off, you've done a run and you naturally feel amazing after it, don't you? You know, and it's making these two links, and I think the more you can link the two together and realize that, hang on a minute, maybe the key is if I do more exercise, maybe this is part of my recovery journey, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, unless something catastrophic happens, like you injure yourself, I don't think anyone's ever regretted going on a run or going to the gym. You regret not going, and sometimes, as you say, like yesterday, when you're exhausted for obvious reasons, when you're jet lagged and you don't want to go, you can live to regret that later on in the day. But if you just go afterwards, you're not going to go, oh, I wish I hadn't done that.
Yeah.
The runner's high is a thing, and it's leveling out your hormones. I mean, you feel all of the stresses disappear, and it clears your brain. And it does that by regulating your nervous system, by regulating your hormones. Depending on who you are, some people are set up where they will enjoy exercising in the morning. Some people will prefer to do it at lunchtime, some in the evening time, and you can figure out what works best for you. I really enjoy doing it in the morning as well. If I had the opportunity, I would be getting out of bed, necking a pint of water and heading straight off, because I find that not only am I less stressed, but going to work, my brain seems to work better. It's as if like I've had a coffee or something. It really does make me work easier. I feel like I have more energy, and that lasts for a few hours afterwards.
And you can replace, like you said, you literally, rather than having your coffee in the morning, you can replace that with exercise. And that's one thing I thought was an important point. Then you picked up, like I do. I also neck a pint of water in the morning before I have a coffee. But I sort of agree with you. Like, I think just before I bought the house, I found a 24-hour gym, and I was going in at 5 a.m. and it really did help. It set me up for the day, for work. It kind of reset that stress response. I didn't really care about the day ahead, you know. Whereas now, due to other commitments, I have to train a bit later. I have to be kind of a bit more regimented with what training I do. But yeah, given the choice, I think training in the mornings is really effective for me, and it sounds like it's for yourself as well.
It's such a great habit as well, because beyond the benefits of exercise, you have done something to start the day that sets up the routine of the day. You've done something that is positive for your physical and mental health. You've done something hard at the start of the day potentially, and you've done something disciplined at the start of the day. And with anxiety, with depression, with health anxiety, with all of these related mental health conditions, it is about gaining momentum and one day after another building things into it. And just for a 24-hour period, a 12-hour period, I just think it's such a beautiful way to kick you off, because it's very difficult to do nothing else after you've done that, and just
Yeah,
head back to bed. You're jumping out of bed and heading out. I think it's
especially
fantastic. That's as well.
that's exactly it. Especially if the mornings are the worst time for for these sort of mind and body conditions. It can be, can't they? That waking up first thing in the morning. So even just getting yourself out of bed, drinking a glass of water, doing some exercise, like you said, it certainly does set you up for the day. Then the last thing you want to do is get back into bed. You want to keep that
Yeah.
momentum going, don't you? Thought that was an interesting point. I messaged you today about. I was having a chat with somebody the other day about they have health anxiety, and they started experiencing tinnitus, and then they got sciatica, and they were doing I forget what, 2 exercise routines not per week, but 2 regimes per week, and they'd been advised to rest, which I thought, no, that's not the best advice to be giving someone with sciatica and tinnitus. We've all sciatica, as you all know, being a doctor, it's not, yes, it can be resolved. It can be caused by your nervous system. It doesn't have to be a long-term condition, but she's in that fear element stage, and I was just trying to give her some sound advice, and I said, yeah, some particular exercises might aggravate it. Like, I do a lot of weight, so I probably wouldn't back squat. I'd probably do front squats. Deadlifts, I might do Romanian deadlifts, rather than a full-on deadlift, and then I might just assess that on a week-by-week basis. So after 6 weeks, if I've got a bit of tension here, there, and everywhere, and it's settling down, then what I'll do is I'll go back to the exercises that I changed. So I'll go back to back squats. I'll start deadlifting again, because retraining the brain again. It's safe. There's no structural problems. Even though I'm walking with the jelly legs, like I've been on John Wayne's horse a few days after, but we normal, isn't it?
But even if you have a structural issue with your back, so say you've slipped a disc, or say you've got a bulging discs are incredibly common.
Yeah.
And essentially the treatment for any lower back problem is losing some weight, physiotherapy, keep your body moving. That's why I think also it's massively important to be in some sort of physical shape, or at least know what your body feels like, or know how to move your body. So if something were to go wrong, were to feel abnormal, you have that idea as well. Because if you don't do that, every type of pain or weird sensation is going to feel pathological. When actually it's just it can just be a normal version because of some things you've been doing, or something that you can ignore.
And a bit of wear and tear as well. Well, I bet if we went for an MRI scan now, it'd probably show a bit of wear and tear on the spine, because we are getting older, aren't we? But like you said, if you do lose the weight and you get yourself into shape, like if you've got a belly on you, naturally it's going to pull your posture forward, whereas if you keep yourself, nice and slight, not, flat, relatively good shape, work on your posture, you can do that through strength training, can't you? It's going to help you in the long term.
Yeah, and by your 30s, you are definitely going to have some arthritis in your lower spine. It's just the way that we're set up. We're not really like designed to stand up yet. We haven't been doing it for long enough for us to have full adaptations to that. And so you do get more wear and tear. And so in your 30s, you may notice that maybe you've got a bit of a dodgy knee. Maybe you do suffer with your back. I'm pretty sure I've got a bulging disc in my back that goes every now and then. And so I've essentially realized that I need to be really, really careful doing deadlifts. And so I can do other back exercises. I have to be cautious of doing certain types of squats, or I need to just warm up religiously. I need to make sure that my technique is perfect. And these are the kind of things that you would only know if you move your body, if you exercise. With lower back problems, I mean, unless it's like absolutely horrendous, you're not getting a surgery. And so the way you treat it is with movement.
And there's no guarantee, even if you have the surgery, there's no guarantee that the pain's going to go away afterwards, But like you said, you can treat that conservatively by what we're talking about: exercise, weight management. I've got a dodgy knee as well, but I've got a tight left hip. I always just have a laugh about it, say I'm a little bit broken, but I'm still training, I'm still exercising. Me and the other half, she'll try and show me like a yoga stance or to sit down and do this particular exercise. I can't sit down and cross my my legs because I'm not able to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 37, so I am at an age where I should absolutely think about what I am doing with movement, and there are certain things that I enjoy, so I do more so. So running and lifting. Flexibility is the third one. You want to be physically fit, so able to run, able to get your lungs open and get oxygen to your muscles as best you can. You want to be strong, but also you need to be flexible. And by the time you get into your 30s and 40s, you need to be thinking about what you want to be doing in your 70s, 80s, and 90s. And the best ways that we can measure those things are VO2 max, which is how easy it is for your muscles to get oxygen from your lungs. And that's from aerobic, non-aerobic, like exercises like running,
breathing,
grip strength. Grip strength, which is a really good prognostic factor for how strong you are. And it's basically, if you have a strong grip, it means that other parts of your body are also strong. It's just the easiest way to measure your general strength.
Brilliant.
And then your proprioception, so your ability to keep your balance. Because if you think in your 80s and 90s, when all of these things have dramatically dropped, and they do that every decade, you want to be able to walk around without winding yourself. You want to be able to stand from sitting. You want to be able to move things around, lift things, maybe hold your grandchildren, great grandchildren, and you want to be able to turn without falling over.
Absolutely.
So these things need to be made as good as possible in the here and now, because, as I say, there's a drastic drop off every decade. So the more you do now, the better you're setting yourself up for living healthier for longer in the future.
I've certainly modified my exercise routines. I think in terms of how I want to look physically and stuff, like I don't lift as heavy as I used to, and I've not got as much bulk. I want to stay a bit lighter, a bit more mobile. I can't remember the name of it. A friend of mine recommended a physio he is. It's like a balance mat. So I've just been working on proprioception exercises with single leg stuff. I do a lot of single leg stuff in the gym, which really helps the squat. There's so much you can do, isn't there now?
Yeah, and you should try and be an all-rounder.
Yeah.
Really.
But
as we said at the start, warning us is massively important into your 30s. As we said at the start, the easiest thing is to find something that you love doing. And I would say that's the most important thing. I mean, if you are someone who doesn't exercise at all, and you're thinking about doing it because you're anxious, or maybe you're a little overweight, or you're unhealthy, you've got these markers that you're starting to sort of wear down, these kind of things, then you want to choose something that you enjoy. People usually stick to things more if they exercise with people. I mean, once you get into exercise yourself, you may find that it is this thing that you love to do on your own, which I think we both do. But if you're just starting out, maybe doing something that you enjoy with other people is the way to go. But also, the reassuring thing about that is the biggest gains that you'll have in improving your health now and your longevity in the future are starting from doing no exercise to exercising 2 or 3 times a week, up to 150 minutes a week. That's the biggest jump. That's the biggest difference you'll make. once you're exercising 7 days a week and you just decide to exercise twice a day, the difference that you're making is minuscule. But going from couch to 5K, for example, or going to the gym for the first time, that's the biggest difference that you'll make, which is a reassuring thing for people who need motivation to start doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. I think, especially with something like going into running for the first time as well, just running doesn't have to be a full-on run. It can be a jog. Just doing that with somebody else, that that really builds your confidence as well, and you can build that confidence up to be able to do it on your own as well. And like you said, it's about doing something that you enjoy. The worst thing you can do is participate in something that you feel is a chore, because the likelihood is you won't go back to doing that again.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and just trying to stick with it for a month,
yeah,
and then it forms a bit more of a habit. That's
yeah,
that's something else that I would say as well.
absolutely,
Um,
absolutely. Minimum
yeah,
4 weeks before we look at making any changes. Well, I've got to go off to my class now. Will.
good.
Well, that's
Putting it
we
into
got
action.
we got 22 minutes in there. So that's well, we're going to do 3 parts of this anyway, aren't we? So part 1, 2 more parts of exercise. Yeah, I look forward to it. Hope everyone's enjoyed our podcast today, and I'll get this on live soon. Is
Perfect.
that all right, Will?
See you again, Joe. Cheers.
Cheers, pal. See ya. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.